Alright, we're gonna make another one of these. Um, I haven't really done anything about the new cards. I haven't really made any kind of discussion or anything like that. I guess I can give the small shout out. One of my friends started making a kind of like a video web series on a channel called Dragon Ball Super University. I'll probably put a link in the description for that. Basically, I'm a part of it. It's a short, well, for me, short. It's not the kind of content that I enjoy. Uh, in terms of, I like super long form, podcasty, speaking, infinite kind of form of content. But these are like short or like 20-minute videos somewhere in there, split up into 2-3 parts per episode. Uh, Basically, me and two friends sit on my couch and kind of just come up, have a topic and talk about it. If you want to go watch it, you can see me be fed on a couch. Basically, it's pretty entertaining. But outside of that, let's kind of get into it. So new cards came out. They were leaked the 12th, and so I'm about 5 days late here. I've done a little bit of testing with the new cards, but I haven't really like made kind of a deck that I really liked. The one thing that I played with the most is I played with the Time Patrol Trunks, and I played with the uh, the Unified Spirit Goten and the Unified Spirit Trunks and Psyched Up Gotenks. Those were the four cards that kind of point out to me a little bit better than everything else. One thing that has merits is the Vegeta, which is the only 2-drop blue Vegeta. Uh, I've been messing around at locals a lot more, just trying to play different decks, and 2-drop on curve Vegetas are kind of hard to find. They normally, a lot of them only lurk on the 3-drop, and then Princess Speed and God Charge are both 5 and 6 drops, respectively. Um, so that was kind of interesting that they kind of made these. But the kicker is all your energy has to be blue. So it's really only going to see probably a little bit more play in Vegito leader decks. Um, and also the Goku is fairly nifty. Being able to tutor for a 3 mana card is kind of nice. Getting the critical or getting the 20k is pretty good swing. Well, I want to be disappointed by that. It also kind of sets up plays by playing the 10-drop Vegito. So when you're playing the Vegito leader, you could play the Goku attack, get a Vegeta. Hopefully you save both of the threats, and then if you played Objection, you can the next turn you can play the big Vegito and hopefully try to steal the game after that happens. Something neat to think about. But also this Vegito is really nifty. Being able to have a pseudo triple strike critical is kind of cool. And dual attack is obviously a really good keyword. Um, but I think what I'm gonna build today is started at Goku, but I kind of wanted to play blue green, and I really wanted to focus on the unified cards. So what's really cool about starter deck Goku is, especially with this effect right here, where you can bounce a card to its owner's hand, you can really burn through your deck pretty quickly. Turn 4, turn 5, somewhere in there, by playing this guy 2 times in the same turn, and just getting a bunch of Trunks youths that give you more tempo advantage. Eventually, trying to play Psyched Up Gotenks. I might start playing 4 of these just because I think I found a better way to exploit it. That's basically what I want to look at with a deck like this, and I'm going to try to work out the numbers. I haven't really done any pre-planning or anything like that, so this is going to be like a deck building video where I come from, from nothing to something, just like building off an idea. But none of this is planned. It's just kind of sitting in my head. So the first thing we're gonna do is the leader is whoops. Leader starter deck Goku. So let's start with basically a lot of the blue staples. Debating if I want to play Jocko. Nah, and then the free combos. So this is probably where I'm going to start off for the blue right now. Then the green we are going to do, what should I call this one? I don't want to call it 3-drop Goten. I could, but we'll call it Unified Goten. Oh, oops, I want to play 4 of this guy. Oh, and 4x of the Unyielding Trunks. Obviously, we want to play the blue staple that we get to search eternally. And then we're going to play 2x of the Unified Trunks. And then we're also going to play 2x. I'm debating if I want to play 2 of the Son Goten Family of Justice or 3 of them. What if... What if we go 1 in here and 3 in here? Yeah, because it makes kind of like Unified Trunks playing it like a little bit more relevant, because you can just reveal the Goten instead of playing it, which is going to be relevant with one of the ideas I'm thinking of. And then we're going to do 4 Psyched Up. So this right here is, I think, going to be the core. But the one card I had stuck in my head, which I don't know if a lot of people overlooked, but Energy Attack Trunks is the big one. So right now we're going to want it to match up with my Gotenks. So what's really cool about this card, the biggest thing about it is that it's 10k, and Son Goten Family of Justice is also 10k. And the one thing to know, oh, whoops, actually, yes, I do want to go back. Psyched Up Gotenks needs you to play the same power from your hand. What gets really awkward in this deck is Unyielding Trunks is a 10k, and Unified Goten is a 15k, and the Unified Trunks is a 15k. So basically what the objective of the deck is to play this as a tempo 3-drop that searches one of our infinite amount of trunks in the deck. Eventually till we get a Son Goten Family of Justice in our hand, or like an Unyielding or an Energy Attack Trunks, which are both 10ks, and then we can start playing Psyched Ups for 4. That's kind of the tempo play that I'm looking for most of the time. And I just, oh no, wait, it's set 2 where Unyielding. I just want to double check myself that Unyielding is a 10k. Yes, okay, I was right. So we can put this, kind of make a neat little reminder for ourselves so I don't have to keep looking this up. And this is a 10k, and I just want to double check just to make sure I'm not crazy. Don't want to make myself look like an absolute idiot. Yes, it is 10k. And then also the another cool thing you can do is you can play the Vanillas Trunks and Goten, which are both 15ks, and those actually combo with the green ones as well, which is kind of interesting. But the thing that I noticed the most is you normally want to get rid of your one of your Unified Trunks. You never really want to get rid of these Unyielding Trunks to play Psyched Up on 4. You would be better off wanting to get rid of the Gotenks, and the only thing that pairs well with the Goten is the Unyielding Trunks, which makes the Energy Attack Trunks a little bit more worth getting. But I think you can take this to 2, and then you can play 1 Vanilla Trunks, which is a 15k. That way, when you're tutoring, What you can do is if this ever lives on a turn, which it might or might not, you normally, I think, want to bounce it to your hand. But if you ever just like raw play it out, attack with it, and you have 4 mana open, you can bounce this, like you can search for Vanilla Trunks, put it in your hand, and then play Psyched Up Gotenks using Vanilla Trunks and the Unified Goten. But then you also have like these options where you have 3 of these Gotens and 2 of these, and then this Trunks combos with this Goten. There's just like a lot of like cool low costing stuff that you can do, and what makes Starter Deck Goku really cool is that you get to untap a lot of the mana that you're using to keep playing, to keep getting more and more value out of these 3 drops right here. That's what I think is really going to be cool with this set. The one thing I don't want to play is the black Trunks. The reason is it's I can see playing like 1 or 2. But what really hurts in the starter deck Goku deck is when you don't use colors. You start struggling a little bit on costing your 2 greens, and also like untapping normally works better with the blue cards, obviously, because you're playing starter deck Goku. And this kind of, sometimes you do have to play it as mana. And when you do, it really affects the rest of your game. And I think looking at the top 2 cards of your deck is a little irrelevant when you're trying to look at the top 7 infinite amount of times for, you know, like one of your, how many do we have right now? 8? One of your 8 Trunks. So that's kind of a neat way to go. And also making Psyched Up not something that you can play on 6 mana. Like when you untap and have to play 6 mana. Like if you have this in your hand after you do it, it's a little different. But I could see like 1 or 2. I don't know how many cards I really want to tutor for in this deck when my whole deck is trying to be based around tutoring. That's like one of the big things. Let's see what we have for card count right now. So 4, 8, 12, 16. So we have 19 right here. And then 4, 8, 12, and then we have 12 right here. So currently, right here with this package is a 31 card package. Right? Not bad math. Yeah, so 31. So you get 19 flex spots to work with. Yeah. So the really good green cards is things like, oh no, set one I think has the card that I'm trying to look at. I know I keep using this website, and hopefully I think one of my friends is trying to make a website that helps with deck building, which will be a little bit better. So this card is extremely strong for obvious reasons. The one kind of sketchy part is we're not playing any of the leaps, which if you make it go 3 color, you can potentially try to slam it in there. They're also 15Ks. And then you can also play Mighty Mask and you can tutor even more. If you want to try to make a 3 color deck, it's possible, and you can only make it so that you only need to play 1 red because you just want to play like 4 Mighty Mask, 1 of the Unyielding Trunks, and 1 of the Unyielding, or not Unyielding. What am I thinking of? The Leap to the Future. 1 of the Leap to the Future Trunks and 1 of the Leap to the Future Goten. So you can play a 6 card red package, and you just have to see 1 of them, and you can cast basically all the red cards you would ever want to, which is strictly just Mighty Mask, which lets you tutor for even more Gotenks. And that's where I'd see more merits playing this, so you can discard 2 and tutor it up. But I feel you would just naturally draw them. That's like the kind of the sketchy part where I'm sitting. Unless if there's a red card that I can try to think of that would be even more worth splashing for, where you can just make green the light splash. But it's weird because when you're trying to play 4 Psyched Up, this is a 2 green card. And you run into a little bit more problems. So one thing that you can do is you can make it a huge tutor deck, not play Psyched Up, and then you can play like 4 Mighty Mask, 4 Jirins, um, and then if you want, you can play Vegito. You can maybe throw Vegito in there, and you can play like the Vegito kind of like deck. But at that rate, you'd be cutting like the energy attack trunk. So you'd be more looking at like blue red with a splash of green, which could potentially work pretty well. But I think like Psyched Up is one of those cards where if it happens, you're in a very advantageous position. It's kind of the same thing with Vegito. But there's like two different variants, and I guess we can try to go into those two variants. So we can make this like a let's build cool Trunks and Goten decks. But for right now, yeah, for right now, let's try to keep it blue-green, and then we can make a blue-red-green list that doesn't play Psyched Up and tries to get its removal from a different source. That way Mighty Mask becomes a lot better, and you can also probably play like Future Trunk or Bulmas. The Bulmas that search Future Trunks to get green mana as well is just like another way to get it splashed in there. And then you can try to abuse Vegito that way. But if you're playing Vegito, then the Xeno Trunks is one of those cards that's a little bit harder to splash because you have to play. It'd be like 4 of the promo Gohans to like you'd be playing more Gohans, like more a little bit more aggressive red cards. But we'll try to make that list. But for now, try to keep it. Try to keep it right here. I'm trying to think of what else I would want to play that's like in green that would be really worth playing. Obviously, we can look at Kales. Obviously, we can look at the promo Gohans. Kale is kind of a tempting one to take because I could play 4 energy boosted boos. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, Kale's a good card. Because like 4 drops is where I'm like super lacking. I'm kind of like relying on Psyched Up to be my really good 4 drop. So you could play. Let's start with 3 Kales right now. And then we can play 4X and. Oh, oops. Fucking spell. Energy boosted, Majin, Boo. So this will go up to 23. This will go up to 15. So right now we're looking at 38, so we're 12 spots we're trying to fill up. We can play Goku as well. I kind of want to play 4 of them because I don't have any solid 2-drops I'm playing. This deck is really heavy on the 3s, where my 3-drops are the strongest things I'm playing, and my 2-drops aren't as strong, so currently we're looking at that. Now we're up to 42, so now we're only working at like 8 cards to deal with, and Kale's just one of those strong cards that really handles a lot of the board states. It's also a very powerful card. The thing where its second ability is a little weird because of these. But a cool play you can do if you have a Kale out and you have 6 cards in hand, you can play the Unified Goten, and then you can attack with Kale, draw a card, then you can attack with the Goten, probably find something, and then you can bounce the Goten to your hand. That way you get to a 7-card hand afterwards instead of the 6-card hand that Kale normally allows you to be at. Which, it's cool stuff. Nobody's ever mad about that one. Piccolo's like another one of those really good cards. Playing like the Trunks Piccolo package seems like it's fairly it's what, god damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? Tempting. That one took a little while to come out of my brain. So yeah, Kale. So what's really good about Kale is you can sacrifice one of the bundles or one of the boos that we're playing, and just get a very good value creature. Then it's one of those, if it gets cold bloodlusted, it's a little unfortunate, but it's something that you can come back from pretty easily. Another thing that I really like is I really like We Sacred Guard. It kind of makes another 4-drop that's extremely strong, and it also lets you kind of dirtle more with the Gotenks. Resulta Training is also another card I actually really like in starter deck Goku, due to the fact that people don't normally want to play really aggressive against you, because when you awaken, you can get really aggressive with it. So like playing 3 Resulta Training is a very tempting kind of way to go. Which, let's start with that. So we're looking at a more like blue heavy deck. And this brings us up to 45 right now. Objection is also a tempting card. What's weird about Objection is when you're focused more on 3-drops and not focused on like getting Psyched Up as soon as you possibly can, or getting the Kales up as soon as you possibly can. It gets a little weird. But we can definitely look at something like that. I'm kind of curious on let's see, I probably need to bring this over. Let's look at what other starter deck Gokus were playing at Vegas to see if they thought that playing Objection was good enough for them. Normally I don't like basing a lot of this. Yeah, like this guy was playing 4 Objection, 3 Resulta Training. Yeah, I guess playing Objection is really good with Resulta Training. Playing 4 of them, though, is obviously not the game that I'm trying to play. Also, he was focused on more of Hidden Awakening Kale. I think there's a website. Let me see if I can find it real fast. The Dragon Ball Super Regionals. Let's try to find some higher lists. So metagame of this. Can I zoom? No, I can only zoom out. Oh, okay. So I can't really zoom out of this one. So let's see. Whose list were we looking at? We were looking at Noah Sanchez, and Noah Sanchez got top 4. Okay, so he is someone that'll probably that's worth looking at. What the fuck was this guy playing? What was his name? Josu, Jesus. Yosu? Oh, jeez. Let me just see if I can find his list real fast. I'm kind of curious on like what they were playing, to see if they're more on board with playing a decent amount of objections and stuff. Here he is. Yeah, that's him. Yep, that's him. Okay. So he was, yep, 4 Objection, 3 Resulta Training. And was he also playing a bunch of Kales? Raging Spirit, Son Gohan. Is that the 7-drop? I think that's a 7-drop. No, that's Piercing Strike. Which one is that one? Son, is he? Wait, is that? No, Raging Spirit, Son Gohan. Which one is Raging Spirit, Son Gohan? Am I? He's blue-green, right? It's got to be a green card. The fuck is that card? Yeah, that's Fully Trained Gohan, Supreme DNA. Dude, I swear if I see this card, I'm going to be really upset that I didn't know it. Is it a set 1 card? It's totally a set 1 card. Alright. It's got to be a green card. I don't think there's any cool Gohans in set 2. Unless if I'm crazy, which I could be. Um, I'm really good at messing up. No, that's a friend summoning one. Son Gohan Family of Justice. Slasher Trunks. Super Saiyan Gotenks. Yeah, this is quality content when I'm trying to build a deck and I don't even know what people are fucking playing. No, okay. It's not a promo card randomly, is it? Or is it? It's probably a blue card at this rate, and then I'm gonna feel like a dummy. Yeah, because that's determined. That's ability unleashed. And they did release a Gohan in the other sets. He is playing blue-green. Like, I'm not... Yeah, he's playing blue-green. They're also playing 4 Kale. I need to look at that in a second. Did I miss it? Or did he misregister? I should see. No, he doesn't have a... Raging Spirit Sun Gohan. What the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna Google search this off camera. Raging Spirit Sun Gohan. Oh my god. It's the combo one. Oh jeez, I feel like an idiot. Yep. 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 Alright, I'm dumb. Weird. God, I'm so fucking stupid. That's hilarious. Alright. Alright, right. That's gonna make me laugh for a while. So let's do, okay. These people probably know a little bit better than me about the Son Goku leader. I'm applying more of a Vegeta logic, where in Vegeta I think Objection's a little weaker of a card, because you're just trying to be more aggressive. But I guess this one's trying to be a little bit more mid-range, especially when I'm trying to abuse 4 Psyched Up as like a better card than the 5-mana Gotenks. So let's see, we're up to 29, right? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, plus 20. And then this is, now this, we'll go up to 4 Kale, which I think brings us to 20 on here. So right now I just have one card. Like right here, there's only one card for filler. Our removal package is in Psyched Up and in Kale, but we also have Goten, and Unified is early pressure. And then Psyched Up is what we're trying to do to remove bigger things, and Kale is also trying to do the same thing. The weird thing about Kale, though, is actually Kale gets tokens. I don't think the new cards get tokens. Trunks doesn't get tokens, right? Doesn't say up to. 3 or less, yeah. So it's just like Family of Justice. So like Kale's we can probably cut down to 2. I could see that. Well, like what else were they playing that I feel like I'm missing? The combo Gohan does not sound like a terrible idea. But the thing I'm looking at is like, what am I playing for mana for green? Like right now it's sitting on like Psyched Ups and Bundles. And maybe a Kale. But I mean, let's see what they, he was playing like full power Trunks and all that kind of stuff. So that was, he was playing, he had a tutor for his mana, which is what he wanted to do. And then what was the other guy I was looking at? Noah Sanchez. What was he doing for green? Oh, he was he on the same goddamn package? Fuck yeah, he was. Weird. It's like getting your green mana. Actually, hold on. Was he not energy boosted beer? Yeah, we're not playing Beerus. Was he mono? Is he like super mono blue? Replace 2 Kale? Oh. Is that what that says? Whoever wrote this as a judge, you're a monster. I think it might be a 1, it might be a 2. It looks more like a 1 than a 2. So we replaced one Kale. So there's probably like a Kale that got cut for some other fucking card. Oh no, full power Trunks. Yeah, so he was tutoring his green mana. I don't want to tutor my green mana. It's like the Goten and Kales. So like Kales we can probably bring down to 2. So currently we're sitting at 18 green. Oh, whoops, not 28, 18. So this brings us to 37. So I want to play like 3 green cards. I think where I'm sitting here is perfectly fine. And I'm totally cool with all this being in here. Probably maybe cut a Whis Counter, maybe cut some Boos. Because you can just play, that's probably why they were playing Light of Hope Trunks, is because they wanted to play so much blue that they were probably struggling to get green mana. And so what the Bulma does is it lets you tutor for the green mana that you want. So you can play that. But he was also playing, Jesus God. This guy was removing fucking everything. Look at this. 2, 6. He's playing 10 removal spells. He's also only playing 3 of these Raging Spirits on Gohans. It's kind of interesting. And only 3 of the bundles. And we could definitely cut a bundle if I find another cool green card. That might be a little bit more situational. Like you could play the Gohans, that would be like your situational. Which I'm kind of leaning towards, because you can cut. Well, if you take Psyched Up off of 4, like playing the energy attack Trunks is like becoming more and more useless. Where I'm trying to abuse that mechanic as much as possible. That I just want to play Psyched Up by playing shittier fucking blue cards. Because I feel like if you play Psyched Up, just the card advantage you get from it will just put you ahead. And also, it's a sweet 25k. So let's see. What if we cut Bundle down to 2? And we play 4 Gotenks. 4 Super Saiyan Gotenks. What does this look like? So this would be 21, right? 4, 6, 8 plus 12. This is 20. Play another bundle. No, oops. Kind of want to make my 2 drops as strong as I possibly can. Because Objection and Bundle is currently, I think, my only 2 drops that I'm willing to play. Were they also playing 4 Whis Counter? Yeah, 3. They were playing 3 Whis Counters. Okay, so they were even cool with like cutting one of those. Which I could be cool with cutting one of those, but Senzu Bean is like one of those. They also put Senzu Bean to 3? But they put Resulta Training at 3. But I guess they put Objection at 4, so I'm like trying to value Senzu Bean over an Objection or Whis Counter over the Objection. It's kind of where I'm sitting in my brain. Energy Boost and Majin. So what if we put Gotenks? No, because I want to keep green cards. Because I'm super okay with putting Gotenks as a green card. And then eventually you'll just get another one when you're trying to play Psyched Up. But you really just need the staple, like, 1 green one. Which you can get out of a Family of Justice or a Gotenks or a Bundle. Which you'd normally be, those would be like your okay ones to play. Because I really want 4 Unyielding Trunks. Were they even playing Unyielding Trunks? No. I am so disassociated with this blue-green fucking Super Saiyan starter deck Goku list. Really? I thought that's like probably one of the best blue cards that you can possibly play. They were just, they're on a different level. They were on a different fucking level. Yeah, I can't say anything about that. They're monsters. Yeah, they're also on 4 Super Saiyan Gotenks. So yeah, they're just trying, they're trying to win the game same way we are. I can see cutting the Senzu Bean because I kind of want to play the one, the one combo Gohan. It's a, it's a nifty card, especially in a deck like this where when they use your removal to kill other things, like the Gohan and stuff like that, you normally save yourself some life so you can play Resulted Training. That's kind of what makes Resulted Training a little bit better. Hmm. What if we cut the... How many one-cost combos do I have, actually? There's like none. It's just Gotenks and the Goten family of Justice. Are those my only one combos? Oh shit, they are. So my survivability on crack packs is not very good, because the fun thing about Psyched Up is that it's a 0-5k. Same thing with Kale. There's so much flex room in this deck, but I think the 3-drop of Unified Goten being able to tutor... Am I still at 8 cards? Right? 1, 3, 4, 8. Yes. Being able to tutor 8 cards from your deck is extremely strong. And just being able to like Unyielding Trunks to untap everything and keep being aggressive is also extremely strong. Having the play like Super Saiyan Gotenks and a Psyched Up is a very, very good play. But I think right now, seeing as I'm trying to just like play more combo, let's try to go to 3 counters. Debating on cutting Resulted Training down by 1. Let's go to 2 Resulted Training. And the reason why is that I'm deck thinning. I should be able to draw Resulted Training fairly consistently. Hopefully. Then it's one of those like, it's super niche, but the objective of my deck that they're probably not going to be as aggressive on me as I would want them to, while I'm trying to be a little bit more aggressive on them by playing Goten and attacking with it every single turn. And also my leader, so I'm like trying to do a lot of chip damage while gaining card advantage from it, which just like allows more impactful plays, because eventually you drop into like Super Saiyan Gotenks. They'll normally like Cold Bloodlust, something like that, and then you can just start untapping all of your mana and play like another one, or play like a bigger threat that you didn't want to get Cold Bloodlusted. So you could do like cool bait plays like that. I still want to keep the vanilla Trunks. Now I can cut an energy attack Trunks, but I feel that goes against the Psyched Up plan. I guess, yeah, I'm like leaning towards cutting a Senzu Bean. And like a bundle. Right? Because... Okay, so like let's say we cut this. So this is, oh Jesus God, so bad at counting. I should have kept ticking that down. 4, 7, 10, 18, 20, 25, 26. So this is 26 blue right now. And then this is 4, 7, 9, 4, 7, 10, 12, 21. Yeah, so this is still 21. So this is 47. Yeah, which allows me to play 3 of the Raging Gohans. Raging Spirit Sun Gohan. The combo one. Because I'm retarded. Yeah, so this looks fun. Yeah, so you're 29 blue. So our removal package is sitting around Psyched Up, Kales, Gotenks, Unified Trunks. Got a good amount of fucking removal. And we got a lot of tutoring. The biggest thing about this deck is that you really want to get the Goten on 3. That's like the big kicker about this deck. Because if you don't get that, it's going to be a little rough, but that's why we're playing 7 cantrips. So it's going to be one of those cards that you always want to keep in your hand. But this looks pretty sweet. And this isn't playing the black Trunks, because right now I'm like really tight on space for what I want to play. And going back to my original, playing a black card in a deck, playing an Overrealm card in a deck where I kind of want a graveyard to play Psyched Up and stuff like that, because sometimes you're going to have to play Psyched Up on 6 and it's going to be really impactful. It's going to be kind of relevant, especially in a deck like Starter Deck Goku, where you can play it on 6 and then untap 2 still after you attack, which is a really strong play. You still get a sweet removal spell, draw 2 cards, and you get to play. So it's a +1, and you still get to untap mana, so it still becomes like a 4-drop instead of a 2-drop when you play it for its cool cost. So I think this is the first list I would test. God, I wish these cards were out so paper testing was a little bit easier with it. But this list looks like really solid for a main deck. I really like where this is going. Yeah, I really like where this is going. So much tutoring. That's like the biggest thing. Like Unified Goten, even if you sit and plays, like, because a lot of your cards are reactionary. Psyched Up, Kales, Raging Spirit Sun Gohans and stuff like that. They're really reactive cards. But what's really cool is Unified Goten is an outrageously proactive card. It's probably one of the most proactive cards in the game, by far, roughly. And what I mean by that is it's a card where when it comes into play, it's a threat. When it attacks, you're gaining a card from it, and they can't kill it back unless if they cold bloodlust it. But then you just don't attack with it, so they're forced to play a removal spell to get rid of it after that. So at the worst, when you play the card, it's going to be a 2-for-1. Oh, excuse me. It's getting a cold bloodlust and getting a removal spell out of their hand. It's going to be a 2-for-1. Granted, that removal spell might be Jiren, where you kind of can argue card numbers of what you're plussing and minusing there. And at its best, it's going to replace itself with a Trunks. But it also generates, it basically +1s you a card from your deck, because you play it, that you get to keep in your hand, because you can play it, attack, get a Trunks out of it, bring it back. You just +1 a card. You paid 3 mana to draw a card from your deck, or to get a Trunks from your deck at its best. And at its worst, it's a 15k beater that whiffs, or that you get to bring back. So you're paying 3 mana to look at the top 7, shuffle your deck, and bring it back to your hand. At its worst. And what's really cool is if your leader's ever flipped, the card's super live. So, especially when you only have like 1 or 2 cards in hand towards a later game by whatever means, getting selled. Which sell might be a way better deck to bring after this set comes out, because a lot of people are going to be exploiting this mechanic, and you can just, casually still put them to 3, but you can really come back really quickly when you're playing the Gotenks and stuff like that. So, because like you can play Goten, attack, bring it back, blah 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 blah, and eventually you'll build enough card advantage, and then they'll try to flip you over or something along those lines. You can build your card advantage up pretty quickly, is what I'm trying to get to. But I think this is where I would sit. The Kales could become the promo Gohans, just so you get a little bit more 1K combo cards. I know it's the power. It's weird to not have your your what you're building around not be a 1 10K combo, and instead it's just a 0 5000 combo. But yeah, this is what I would sit on. This is a sweet looking deck. It tutors a shitload, which is always fun. Tutoring is the most fun part of this. It's so fun to do in this game. Just like looking at the top 7, getting a card, and just like, oh, it's exactly what I wanted to draw next turn kind of ordeal. Also, you get to play Psyched Up, and Psyched Up is, if you haven't tried to test it, just like, make proxies or something like that, Psyched Up is a fan-fucking-tastic card. And this deck plays a little bit aggressive, but it has a lot of defensive potentials as well. Yeah, so this was fun, but this is a really cool deck. I can't wait till the new stuff comes out, because I really want to test it in paper with the physical cards themselves, because the way I was testing it is with sheets of paper written with card names on them. And this game has way too much card text on it, unlike Magic, where it gets really confusing of what you're proxying on. Just one of the things you got to live with. But we get the cards in a week, so it'll be kind of cool. It's like a week and a couple of days. But right now, I think we'll stop here on the blue-green. I'll probably make another one of these, making the blue-red list. I don't want to make a 2-hour video that shows 2 deck builds of me going through the process of them. I think it'd be a little bit better to just like kind of split it up into 2, just so archive reasons it's a little bit cooler. But I'll post this deck in the description, all that kind of stuff, so you guys can see everything. As always, I guess I can end it on this. As always, I like answering questions. If you have comments, questions, concerns, if you've seen any of my other videos or any of my other responses, I get really thorough with them, so I'll give you a really thorough answer to questions that kind of interest me. But other than that, if you would like, if you'd go watch the Dragon Ball, God, I really hate being the like, comment, subscribe kind of person, so that's why I never do it. Or like the promotional kind of person. I don't really care for that. I only make these videos just to give people long form content, and also kind of it lets people see how I think about the game. So whenever I do these outros, it's really bad every single time. But the thing I really want to get to is just support my friend. The Dragon Ball University thing, he's really just doing it just to help new players. It's not for any other reason. It's a really chill show. I'm on it, and I bring the same attitude I bring to that show as I do to this show. I don't fake my personality. But yeah, if any of you guys end up testing this in paper, Octagon, anything like that, let me know how it goes for you. I need to find an online play group so I can start playing this game more often outside of like physical testing, which is the only thing I really do. And let me know how it goes. I would like to hear what people think would be wrong with the deck, what's good about the deck. Well, yeah, other than that, I think I'll just wrap it up there. Hopefully, I want to play with the new cards. I want to see if this deck's cool or not. Faster, or I guess with more visuals. But yeah, take it easy.